Alright, welcome back to the stream. My name is NutRaisin. We are playing PLO 10 on run@once.eu. Phil, Galfans, still fairly new poker side, and without further ado, let's... Sorry I'm a bit late today. I made some small improvements to the stream. I hope they are all working. And I know Kipperi's at the tables. I saw him announcing that he's streaming, so we will be playing hands against him. I have no idea where he's sitting, and I prefer it that way. Because, you know, well-known coach, long-time small stakes professional. I mean, no pressure, right? Alright, see, I have that thing again where it doesn't show the table. Hang on, I just need to switch. Then it should work. No idea what's causing this. Usually catches on, like after a moment. Usually wild switching around is what does it. What the deuce? Ah, there we go. Okay, the wild switching did it. Alright. It seems to be one of the slower afternoons on run@once. Usually there are 4 or 5, 6 tables running at this time of day. Right now there seems to be... Let's check how many entries there are. 14 entries now in the pool. I expect that number to rise very soon. We flop toe pair on a board where we're not blocking much. At least none of the, highest trades. We're certainly gonna call once, even though it's pot-sized. And now we're done with the hand. Yeah, very rarely are we winning this if it goes to showdown. As he has like a 5-6. No, he had the better 2 pair. That is fair. The way the hand went down, we might have gone for a river bluff there. But it's always a little bit tougher when you're out of position. That is a decent soundtrack to start the day with. Right, sorry, I'm just checking something at the moment, which is why I'm being a little bit quieter than usual. Just for a second. Yeah, I think that works out nicely, that the new additions to the stream. Cool! Alright, let's do some damage. Of course, we had a great session yesterday. We ended up today being 13 buy-ins in profit. Which was all sorts of nice. And also good for the mental game, after having had a pretty large downswing, like 30 buy-ins around. And we're now up to 87 buy-ins in profit in total since round 1's opened once more. And I'm happy. I put some work in yesterday. Like I noticed that after I reinstalled Windows, the stream quality kind of went down and I had some wrong settings in the streaming software. And it should all be nice and crisp again. Not gonna be able to do anything here. However, I could see this going both ways actually. Just calling is maybe an option. Let's check that out in a moment. He comes over the top. Okay, now we're out. The 8 at 10 and we're probably still in there. Aces against aces, huh? Rough one. And the aces won. Let's check that out though. Button, queen, jack, jack 8, double suited. Versus an under the gun open. Just a call. Good. Good to know. I do flop an ace and I think I want to bet it too. LB! Welcome back to the channel, LB. You know, within my means, I can teach you what I know, which is certainly not everything that there is to know. But, you know, you're definitely in a channel where, you know, I share everything I think about my hands, so most of what I think about my hands in the channel. I'm thinking most because I rarely have time to share it all before the timer runs out there. Teach me the ways of PLO. So that was set versus set, that was kind of nasty. A nasty start. Or what was it? Germain. Right, so I think the stream quality should be much nicer now. And when I switch around the tables, they shouldn't jump around as much anymore. Here we're now playing heads up, which I hate, because I suck at it. So I won't, actually. No need to put myself into spots I'm not comfortable in. This is just stupid. I mean, I have a horrible hand. But we get to complete for, you know... To complete for like an 8B BB pot there. That's awesome feedback, thank you. That's awesome to know, I mean. Yeah, the only thing I really can't do anything about is, like, you know, the... Down here, there's this, doesn't fill up the complete screen, the table. I mean, at least I haven't figured out how yet. If I change it, I think the aspect ratio of the tables get distorted and it looks, you know, kind of weird. So it'll need to stay like this for now. So everybody's checking. And, you know, maybe we'll catch that elusive 9. Nope. Right. More tea. Hot, 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 hot. Okay, we get a semi-decent hand here on table 4. Questions, do we come over the top? I kind of think we do. I mean, yeah. That's the thing with PLO. First of all, good to hear that you're up. That's you know, the way to go. But that's the thing with PLO. It takes a long time to figure out if it's because of skill or you're running well. I'm still hesitant myself, to be quite honest. You know what? Let's gamble the first hand of the stream. You might have aces, you might have crap. Let's do it. Hope it gets heads up. No. But this is a pure, straight up gamble here. Also, I'm curious what these guys have. Come on, a jack. So everybody got their 9, huh? And everybody had crap too, so not feeling bad about that one at all. Let's check out what they had. A different story down here. Here I am very confident in coming over the top, not folding to a re-raise. If need be, we are getting it in. Yeah, and you know what? We were in bad shape. Both of them had their aces covered. Both of them had an ace, I should say. Wow, that is certainly a flop. Check this one, actually. Hoping the board doesn't pair, of course. Nice. I'll dive into the hand on table 4 in a moment. Cool. So we're playing against Winston and Harris, huh? What do these guys show up with? So Winston came over the top with the good old Queen 10-9 deuce, triple suited. Okay, we like Winston. And hang on, there's stuff going on table 1 where we have the bullets and we have a non-believer here. Here we're gonna check. That's a good card. One area that makes me want to bet. Took it down pre, so this dude on table 1 has a raise folding, a 3-bet folding range, which is interesting. He's calling, and which is also cool. Sorry. And Harris here on table 4. Let's check out what Harris showed up with. Ace 9 Jack 3 double suited. I mean, that's a little bit better. Certainly not a 3-betting hand in that scenario. And we're liking both of these guys. Don't really mind having lost that first pot there. Table 4 is certainly a table to watch. And wow. The flopping well thing works good. Works out nicely for now. Don't lead it, man. Don't bet it. Ugh. Oh well. Flop decently on table 1, both backdoor flush draws, blockers, got her ourselves. Not to mention a top pair. I'm gonna lead this one. King has a flush draw. Here we have aces, which is cool. With the king, I'm gonna go for it here. But you know what happens. Take it down on table 1. Neat. That 8 certainly is not the greatest card. That 10, what am I talking about? But we do have that 9. Not loving this spot at all. I have to let it go. See if we can take some money home with these aces. Got a big splash here. Flop a gutter, and which would be to the nuts and a backdoor flush. And we have to let it go. Do get a nice hand here. One gapped rundown. Almost perfectly double suited. What?
It's been a great month of streams. Cheers, Smile.
Jesus Christ, Nick Pip K. I'm always having trouble with your name, man. I also have trouble expressing my gratitude. Thanks a lot. That's completely out of nowhere. Thanks. And if I'm seeing this right, you subscribed for 2 months? Wow. Oh, that's giving me slight goosebumps. Thanks a lot. You're something else. Okay, now I'm completely taken out of the game here. I'm still gonna check, although we do have a very awesome draw here. Gonna let this one go. Jeez. Thanks a lot, Nick Pick. I think this one we're letting go. There's the gap in there, the 4-5. Might be a little bit tight. If it is, then it's no big deal. I hope it showed the alert too on screen, but it should have, right? Yeah, it should have. Yeah. Cool. Okay, so we don't flop horrible here. The 10, of course, acts as a blocker. We have the nut flush draw. And neat. Now every time I'm looking over to the chat window there on my right, I smile. Because I see the subscription thing. Just in case you're wondering while I'm grinning like an idiot every once in a while. It's very nice of him to call there, of course. I think you're rarely getting paid there, so I might as well size up and hope he takes it as a bluff, because I certainly would do this with just the nut flush blocker there. Pretty much exactly the same way. Right, and now it should also show, let me check that. Should also show you as the latest resubscriber, right? Check that on the stream. Yeah. With the ace of spades here. I'm just gonna let her go. Of course, we're now playing three-handed on two tables. It's not necessarily my thing, but we'll make do. So on table 4 is the table to watch, I think, right now. I haven't really paid attention too much to it in the last 10 minutes. But mostly because I didn't get any hands. So let's start by trying to play more hand against these dudes here, right? It's not gonna be this one, where we take down a massive pot, or a pot at all, I suspect. Every once in a while. No, aces and queens, really. Check that flop again. Okay, I guess he didn't like the 8, but still, on the turn, I mean. That's rather conservative, rather unexpected from Winston there. Get raised here, we're calling this suited to the ace, I think. That is defensible. Down here against a very loose passive dude. Let's assume he really is passive and let this one go, I think. We are in position. I think it should be more of a fold. I still think that even after flopping the top set here, of course. Turn an open-ender as well, so I think I might want to start some light betting here. Take that one down. Oh, and amongst the surprise, Nick Pick, also thanks for the kind words. Completely forgot. In position, sure. Yeah, three-handed, not anymore. Just neat. I kind of doubt that we can put the King of Clubs to work here. Do have a pair from the board, but I don't see him not c-betting this, really. Okay then. Nice. Letting this one go. See if we can bluff him out here. Doesn't look like it. Do turn a flush draw. Making me want to check. That's a very good card. Now it's really tough for him to have a full house here. It's betted small so he can call. Also might give him an incentive to come over the top, then we're in a tough spot for sure. I think three-handed on the button is certainly good enough. And I am certain we are sitting with Kippery on pretty much every table, I would assume. I know he is streaming. I didn't check out the stream to see where he's sitting. I'd rather not know. Less pressure. Call you once for sure. Maybe making a pair might be good too. No, we have a turn a gutter. Which would be to the nuts. Turn this into a bluff, I think. It's a good start. Raise here. Take it down on table 2, by the way. Take it down on this table as well. He decided to call on the flop. Like around a half pot size. 184. On table 4 we are definitely in a good seat. Having position on Harris. I don't know. It shows you what I know about short-handed play. I have no idea if this should be a raise. I think it's alright. The side cards are nicely connected. We're suited to the king. We flop a gutter and a top pair, backdoor flush, not blocking hearts, blocking all the straights pretty nicely though, or you know, some of them. Let's check this behind. Or a change. Yeah, sometimes we take it down if it's like a medium strength rundown, something like that. Not this time. Oh no, the one blue shirt left on table 4. That is not great. This, however, is pretty neat. And the flush blockers, and of course now a set. Take it down. Could have possibly sized down there a little, but I don't think it's a big deal. Let's roll the dice. That'll be good enough for us. Also good enough as this one. Yep, money goes in here. 3 ways. Shazam, that was exciting. And just like that, we are in profit for the day. Yeah, I figured there's not many full houses he can have, right? Now with the 6, I don't think it makes much of a difference. Like, you know, make the 6 and 8 and 9, I'm starting to be careful. Not bet too large now. Yeah, we're always good. Unless you have some weird, like, 10 deuce. That was certainly worth a small Shazam there. Shazam. Interesting though to note what Leonard came over the top with there on table 3. I'll take a look at that in a moment. And I mean, Andrew had the aces, and that's all good. Pair, straight. Let's pot this one, not blocking spades. Yeah, now making a 3 pair. He bets, and I'm gonna let it go. Even with 3 pair, you know, you don't make that full house often enough to justify calling here. Blind versus blind here, we're definitely gonna call and ooh. And these, you know, monkey noises meant to signify that we are playing for a 400 big blind splash pot. We have a decent hand all in all. Are we taking this one down? Yes! Wow! Oh, give me a moment until I can talk again. I'll just busy myself with rearranging the windows nicely here for a moment. Well, yeah, you fill in the words. Well, welcome to today's stream, everyone. Where we seem to be up 10 buy-ins. Bringing us this close to being up 100 buy-ins in total. Wow. Wow. Just wow. Good game, and that's... did that one run by already, the splash pot? Okay, here we're potting it, by the way. Against all these peeps. Decent out against... We have some outs against, you know, 2 pairs. There shouldn't be too many. Mainly the 5-4. Might be some sets, but... I'm surprised the splash pot was already in the stream. I thought it would take longer. You were potting it here now, even though there's flushes. I'm not gonna play straights. I mean, we're not gonna play guessing games here. Yeah, we had a whole bunch of outs. And this, you know, this was not like a tilt thing because I like a winner's tilt because I won the other big hand. I thought that was reasonable to do. And trust in Winston to show up with a very strange hand there. I think this is a decent spot for a raise here, to be honest. Actually, yeah, it is. Even more though, because he's so that's short, I hadn't noticed that. That seals the deal for us, I think. Wow. What a hand. Oh. Hey, Zeph! And greetings back to Russia. Thank you very much, sir. Or lady, you never know. You know, I mean, nice spot here. Now it's running past you. Yeah, I was surprised. So I guess the good game on the splash pod was the small splash pod there with the where it took it down 3 ways. Yeah, I'll be back in a moment. Right. Still entirely past that hand. What did we win it with anyway? Like 2 pair or something? Oh, trips. We had in the end our 5s made trips. I see. Definitely gonna come over the top here with Queen Queen 8-8. Blind versus blind battle. Seems to be the way to go. So we have all the blockers. We have a bunch of full house outs. We have a gutter ourselves. Not by betting here, I think. Checking is not a bad option. Giving us a straight flush draw. Let's do that. No, that would be greedy. Just a straight is alright. Get called. And what happened there? We split it, I think. No, he had the King High straight. Didn't I have the King High straight? No, I had the Queen 8, yeah. Yeah, I had the Queen High straight. Oh, fair enough. And big stacks are being pushed around here on table 4 all the time. Just see like 20 euro pots, like every time I look down there. Definitely at the right table on table 4. Oof. I think we'll... No, we're not trick raising this one. I don't want to push him out. Just want him to continue. This is an awesome hand. We have pretty much the complete wrap there, and I think I want to put it in actually. Of course, if the board pairs right on the turn, we're gonna hate life, but yeah, this is just too good. That's also a good result. Jesus. What a pot. Yeah, and you know, we're up 7.5 buy-ins, unless I'm misremembering, but I think so. Neat. And in this pot, by the way, we won 56 euros, I believe, was the take, the win, the profit. Crazy. So we have 2 pair here on the straighty board, backdoor flush. We're definitely gonna call. Making us 3 pair. Here on table 2 we're gonna fold, I think. It's just a board where we're gonna hate a lot of turns, even though we have the backdoor flush. And here I'll probably do the same. There's straights, there's flushes. We're not really blocking any of these hands. Exercise that fold button a little. And you know, a hand on this table would be very welcome. But having won that, that big splash right there, I don't feel I'm in a position where I can really ask anything of the dealer right now. This is certainly interesting. Flopping bottom pair, not flush draw, not blocking crap. I'll wait a little before checking here. Maybe that deters him from betting his more speculative hands. Maybe. Nope. Doesn't deter him. Okay, give it up. We're not getting the odds to draw to the flush draw alone, which is probably what we need to win there. Blind versus blind battle coming up here. I think I'll check raise this one. Because he's pretty much always c-betting, right? He's shown that he can fold to check raises earlier. There's a very good chance that he doesn't like this board at all. Yeah. That's really nice. You always look so smart when this works, and you always look so stupid when it doesn't. Actually, let's check this one out in a moment. I have a feeling, I know it's definitely a fold at short stack poker. I think it's still a fold at 100 BB, even though we are suited to the king, but we are under the gun. Nobody's sitting out. Like, down here it's a difference, we're one of the button, that's a completely different spot. But let's check this one out. King, king, 8-5. We do get a through though, but I am curious. So we're not gonna do anything here. Just gonna check behind and give up. So the king, king, 5-8 it was, under the gun. Yeah, you know what? I'm thinking it's a fold. It's close. The 8-6 is okay. So it's close. Here, I'm not gonna bluff this dude. I don't really know how he... how foldy he is, basically. Go for the 4 table view so you can observe what happens down here, while I bet on table 1 here. Yeah, Vincent takes it down, okay. I'm still gonna bet this with the 9, because there's a lot of river cards I can bluff on. Unfortunately, this is not one of them. I'm not gonna try, there's gonna be better spots. Checking the turn also would have been a very good option. What did he call with there? Give us something nice. Might be worth a limp behind, but those pots rarely stay limped. Yep. Just gonna fold. So with the ace-8-6-4, he had a gutter, backdoor hearts on the turn. Then he paired his 8 on the... He's certainly call happy, this dude. Let's take a note of that. In the form of giving him a green shirt, which means passively puts money in when he maybe shouldn't. Kings take it down. I'm gonna call here once, sounds good to me. Out of position, in position I would just check behind here, I think. Out of position I do have some strong hands here that I checked the turn with. He's gonna have a tough time calling. No, not that tough. Yeah, and no flush, just with the straight there. Interesting. Gonna give him a green shirt as well. I don't mind having tried that there at all. I'm coming for the 110 euros. You know, I'm telling you what, once somebody gets deep enough to threaten the stack, I think I'm gonna putty out like a putty cat. And reset. I have to fold here, I think. Yeah, just a top pair, the open-ender. Seems a little bit weak. Talking about a little bit weak, this is certainly not a strong hand, but I do want to play hands against Winston, and if I can do it in position, then, you know, all the better for it. Comes over the top. That's 6, let's do it. More often than not, you know, I don't, but I do want to play hands against Winston. Okay, so he bets pot sized, and maybe I'll not do this with a very marginal hand in the future if he bets pot there a lot. I have to admit I didn't really... I'm bad at paying attention to table dynamics when I'm not in a hand. Maybe I should have saved that money against the re-raise there in the first place. I think it's fine actually. I'm gonna probably fold it against the re-raise. You get a nice hand down here. Ace-10, 8-9. 9-8, I mean. Single suited hearts to the ace. Not gonna be folding this against the re-raise, by the way. Ugh. Winston, I'm not folding this. Sidecards are decently connected, Winston is all over the place. It sucks that Ivan is gonna be in here, very likely, but still. Not entirely on board. You know, heads up, I would definitely shove this. I think I still will for this very marginal. Any one of these dudes could have the queen jack, yeah, and he does have the damn queen jack, so he is very loose there. I'm gonna have to tighten it down on this table a little bit, even though this guy is juicy. Don't want to punt off money here. Nice hand, you say, huh? you know, I was worried about Queen Jack specifically there. He's not having ace king. He's not checking the king behind the position. So I don't mind this. Also, I'm not minding this. That is a decent board. A little bit too weak to come over the top. Yeah, we have to do something about the music. Much better. Okay, so... Riemann, if I'm pronouncing that in any way correctly. Hang on. You know, I'm gonna put it in here and I don't think it's a punt. If all the flush draws, I can't just call. Can I just call? I don't want to just call. Oh, I thought the flush draws were reversed. I'm sorry, I'm doing this with the 10 high flush. No, I didn't mean to do that. I would have folded in that case. Ah, serves me right if I lose this one. Someone's gonna have the higher flush draw here. No! Oh, he has the ace high flush draw. Yeah, I thought I had the ace high flush draw. That was a buy-in. I needn't have lost there at all. I think I should take a break. Riemann. I'm butchering the name probably, I'm sorry. Welcome to the channel. I'm moving up in stakes as soon as they have PLO 20. PLO 50 is quite a jump and I'm not ready to, you know, play for 5 times the stake. I apologize to all of you for having called there. And most importantly to myself. Here the money's going in if he bets large. Flop very nicely, top pair. You know, we block aces on that board pretty heavily by having an ace. Have the open ender, second nut flush draw. Yeah, money's gone in here. His aces? No. Take one down and makes me, you know, at least we got that one buy-in back, but I still feel stupid having called there in table 4, like, nah. Oh lord. And Winston had crap there, right? Let me check that out, actually. Oh no, he didn't yet. Well, he had a crap hand, but he did hit a set of 7s, the bottom set there. So this is apparently a friend of the channel here. We're gonna switch out the green shirt for a friend of the channel shirt. Something happened. 8215165 has decided to follow the channel. Thank you very much. Certainly it's making me smile. I think I'll check this one out. Oh, with the jack as a blocker, I mean... gotten there every time against me. I have, haven't I? I'm sorry. I didn't bribe anyone at Run It Once. I do promise. I tried, but they are very bribe resistant. Now it all depends on the bet sizing here. If he goes for the pot, then... Oh, okay, so we check behind. Lose this pretty much always. What did you have there? Top 2, right? It's not, you know, the 10 plate itself, basically. But I flopped massively. I couldn't do anything there. And just after you subscribed, I'm just noticing, oh lord. Now I actually do feel a little bit bad. I mean, it's still, it's poker, and you know, that's the name of the game. Trying to take each other's money, but that's just bad karma, I feel, for me. Yeah, the top pair, top 2. That played itself. Yeah, the queen of... Wait. Next song, please. Might have to skip this one too, but we'll give it a chance. Yeah, you had the queen of diamonds as a blocker too. I mean... Can't really do anything there. I mean, once you see that flop, nothing you can do. Oh right, I know. I mixed up the names. Nick Pick. Sorry, Nick Pick. Kai. He was the one who subscribed. Surprised the heck out of me with that. See, I'm all over the place right now. I think I need to take a short break in a few moments. Get my head screwed back on straight. Yeah, so regarding the moving up question, I like to play with 100 buy-in bankroll for all the stakes I'm playing. And you know, I'm certainly well rolled for PLO 20, not PLO 50, and I can't really take shots at PLO 50, I feel, because you know, it's 5 times the current stakes that I can play on Run It Once. You know, if I take a 2, even a 4 buy-in shot, that'll be like, a 4 buy-in shot would be 20 buy-in. If I lose it, I would need to make 20 buy-ins at my normal stake right now to make it back. Would be different if they had PLO 20, then it would only be, you know, 10 buy-ins. So we make the nuts here, which is certainly a welcome sight for sore eyes. Gonna check it. The green shirt means a little bit on the loose side. Like putting money in, that's the general definition, putting money in when they maybe shouldn't. But I changed it to the orange shirt that now that I know it's you. So here we are in a hand again with LB, who doubled up. Nice, I didn't I didn't watch that. But good on you for doubling up. We're gonna let this one go, I think. Took it down on table 1, by the way, with the flush. And no callers. You know what? I'll do that too. I'll go on like a 4-minute break. It won't be long. In a few moments. So I lost one buy-in I shouldn't have down there in table 4, otherwise I'm fairly happy with my all-ins so far. And we are up 6 buy-ins, roundabout. It's pretty much solely courtesy of that splash, of the large splash earlier. Okay, once that 5 makes an appearance here, we definitely have to try. I'll go for full part too. Neato. I'll be back in a few minutes, okay? Should you want to stick around. If not, I understand. Plenty of other things to do. In any case, back in a few. And we're back. Thanks for sticking around. Gee, Hartman, welcome back, mate. Ivan Glasnik, Russian spy. I cannot neither confirm nor deny. That rhymes. I'm sorry about that. Well, yesterday I think you were there until the end. We of course finished with 13 buy-ins in profit and we won. You know, I made one stupid move and reset my hand, otherwise I am happy. And ooh, we get to play a hand against Blue Shirt Winston down here. This is, you know, you don't often call this, but against Winston here with the splash, it's not a big race. Yeah, so we won a 400 BB splash pot on table 3, which is why we're sitting with an insane amount of money there. And you know, the session is going well. We're up 6.5 buy-ins, something like that. I have to check. And that's because that's always fun, especially, you know, when things are going well. 7. We are up 7 buy-ins. This might help in that regard. Flopping pretty well here with a redraw to a better straight. Ah, what do you know? So now there's 2 flushes on board. We're not blocking them a lot. We have one heart. That's an unfortunate river, but I think I'll call it with 1 heart in my hand. This is basically my my reason for calling here. If I don't have a heart, I fold. And you know, sometimes it is a bluff or just a straight. Where we split or which we beat. Not the greatest hand, we are on the button however, and Winston is in there. And Winston is back to his raising ways. I'm gonna call you this time, and next time I'm gonna tighten up on the button against Winston. Forgot about that for a moment here. Yeah, you take it, sir. He gets raised, and let's watch. Yes, sort of a hand. What? You guys are nuts. Thanks, Hartman. Thank you very much, sir. I'm gonna have a tough time trying to stop smiling today. I can see that already. We folded fine here. See what happens on LB's table. I decided to call like a 2/3 bet here. In position, I felt I could take one off. A lot of turn cards that would allow me to continue. I'm just smiling every time I'm looking over the chat again. Thanks, mate. certainly have a calling hand here, flop a gutter and not much else. Except for, you know, blockers to broadways, having the gutter ourselves. Not too shabby indeed, yeah. I think we're up at 95 again, which I believe was the highest we've been. And this might also help. The ace, ace, queen, 8 here, suited to the ace in clubs. Take it down there. Take it down there. And the blue shirt left on table 4, which is really unfortunate. So we flop a gutter, we're definitely gonna c-bet here. Unless he has a jack, it's gonna be very hard for him to continue, and for that reason I think we can size down a little. Yeah, and I'm just gonna check behind here. Checks again, and then, you know, I want to go for it. Nice. Not entirely sure what he called with there, since I had the 5 in my hand, the 6 in my hand. What he called the flop with, I mean. Let's check out the pool. 18 entries. PLO 10, 24 PLO 50. So at this time of day, PLO 50 usually has us beat. Let's check out what LB is, how LB is faring. Of course, we wish him the best. Him being in the orange shirt, friend of the channel, of course. Take it down, LB, take it down. That should be good enough. Double gutter on the turn. Nice. Not a LB hand. Let's watch. Takes it down, very nice. On the button I would check here a lot, but seeing that we're short-handed and he's the big blind, he could have called with a lot of stuff here. Chris! 22, 12, 13. Welcome to the channel, Chris. No, it is high on their priority list, but from what I heard it might take a while. Don't take my word for it, but that's, you know, what I heard. Gonna let this one go on the paired board, medium flush draw. Not worth the hassle. The Queen 10-5 double suited, however, is. I did read yesterday from Phil Gelfand that they're working on a rather large update, which might bring them close to release. Not gonna be, like, from what I read between lines, is not gonna be the release yet. Very likely it might be, but yeah. And you know, a large update might bring that. Not sure about this one at all. I think I'll check it. Ah, see, Abby's right on point there. You must have read the same thing. It didn't sound like it didn't sound like it would come tomorrow, that big update, but it also didn't sound like it would take half a year. Again, I'm basing that on nothing but guesses. That's of course a very nice turn here, and we're gonna pot it, I think. Actually, let's not. It's a horrible river here. Pairing the board, being in the flush. He has been pretty foldy in previous hands, we'll give him that. And very likely, you know, we were beaten anyway. Top pair, open-ender, let's go. Queen of hearts as well. Take it down. I followed the Queen 7-3 here, one of the button. Let's check that out. I have a feeling it might be alright. Yeah. More than... Let's check it out on the button while we're at it. And then it's a raise fold. Like all the queens are raises, some of them are raise folds. So with the blockers, let's go for it. Blocking king jack by having a jack. Same for ace king, worked out nicely. I'm gonna call you once, this bet sizing for sure, turning a double gutter now. Gonna let it go. We did have the king of hearts, maybe I could have called there, bluffed some hard rivers. Oh, certainly a decent river turn. Okay, let's hope this gave him something to call. Ace 8 would be sweet. He's never having ace 8 here, but still, it would be sweet. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt once more, but I have a feeling he's opening up. Certainly gonna keep an eye on him now. This I'll try. Maybe we get to see a showdown here. Certainly a fine fold. No showdown. Decent hand once more, Ace King 10-9, double suited. Would not mind Jonah raising here. I'm sorry, my phone, it usually never happens. Right, sorry about that. I felt that call was okay here. Given the hand went down, we beat any other 10, I believe. Unless I'm misremembering. Mo, we had the ace kicker. It is, it is. It is more than ready for that, and this pot might help too. That's perfect timing, allow me to say that. Good timing, Hartman. It is, it's ready for PLO 20 or PLO 25. All we need to do is 4 run at once to flip that switch. I mean, it has been ready for a while now, the roll. But even if they had PLO 20 from the beginning, I still would have started at PLO 10, you know, coming over from the short stacking background. Wanted to be on the safer side, on the cheaper side, with all the mistakes I'm making. And I'm still making plenty. But I feel they're getting further and further in between. Master Killer. This is the great game, Pot Limit Omaha, where you get it plays the same as No Limit Hold'em, except you cannot go all in, you can only bet the pot, and you get 4 cards, and you have to use 2 of them all the time. So No Limit Hold'em you have around 160, 170 starting hands, I forget the exact number. Yeah. And in Pot Limit Omaha you have over 16,000. Take this one down. And he's deep and in position here. We'll check. Also, welcome to the channel, Master Killer. If you're looking for Hold'em though, I have a feeling, you're probably not staying long. That's fine too. Plenty of streamers out there. Call this once. Can't really put into words why, and I'm very likely wrong. Yeah, not gonna throw bad money after questionable money. Flop the toughest of pairs here. Dicey board. E8 block, and I'm gonna come over the top here in position. Out of position, I would very likely have only called. Okay. Looks like there are not many tables going on right now. I haven't played on... hang on, just a second. I haven't played on Stars in quite a while. At least not, a lot of volume. Did some tournaments there last 14 months. I played on MPN and was a short stacker there. Worked my way up from the lowest stakes once more to PLO 100. Sometimes, although I wasn't really rolled for it. Was I? No, not quite. Sometimes PLO 200 when Maniac sat there. And yeah, but PLO 100 was my main game with 30 big blinds. And I played on Stars years and years ago when before Black Friday happened. And I was a limit hold'em player and I actually made my way up to limit $2, $4 tables. Took some shots at 3-6, which went horrible because I never forget this. The first time I moved up to 3-6. The first, I forget the number. I was saying, never forget this, but I did forget the number. Either the first 7 or 9 sets that I got, I lost them all. That was my shot at 3-6, and then I settled in at 2-4, played it for a while, and then played that professionally actually. Well, as in it was my source of income. Not as in I was getting rich of it. But unfortunately that year, when I took it up playing professionally, of course Black Friday happened, and me playing not only fixed limit but also playing 9 or 10 player tables, I forget. Full ring. That the day Black Friday happened, those games died, like pretty much overnight. Yeah. Hey, Frenchie! With a question right off the gate, that is always welcome, as you know. Give me something to talk about. If it's about those pictures you saw on the internet, I was young and I needed the money. And if not, then I shouldn't have said that. I exported the first streams to my YouTube channel, and I do have the very first stream, but I set this one to private for now, not for any specific reasons. I don't even know why, to be honest. If anyone of you wants to watch it, I can make it public. And not in a while, I did watch them, or tuned into them, like checked them out a little bit here and there. After streaming in the first days, yeah, and it was a very surreal experience. Hearing my own voice made me very uncomfortable. Like, this is how I sound? Those poor people. Especially, you know, with me talking a lot. Yeah, it was a strange experience. And also strange is that now it's just that voice I hear when I check out my videos. Like, the first days it was like, how in the hell are other people bearing this? You know, I'm aware I don't have the deep masculine voice going on. More of a squeaky Eddie Murphy voice. Hey, what's going on? You know, more that. But still, it was a strange experience. And now it's equally strange that it's normal. Yeah, so I try to export all my streams to YouTube just to have them archived, not necessarily because I expect that my YouTube channel is gonna take off, just because Twitch deletes them after 15 or 30 days, 15 I believe. You know, this way I can look at them later if I want to, and have them around. It's kind of nice. Cause he's number one. That's very kind of you. That's a new naming scheme I came up with just when I export them to YouTube, and also for the archive streams, should anyone want to check them out on Twitch. So then it's just the first stream of the day. I have the date, and then stream number 1, then stream number 2. And you know, that'll make it easier. And I put the buy number back in front because I think it's... people told me on the channel that that's interesting for people browsing Twitch. And actually some viewers said that they came in because they saw that title. You know, I'm not against more people being in the channel. And yeah, that's the whole reason for the number 1 there. I did. I was Hartman. I was one of those people, one of those short stackers, other players despised, even more than regular short stackers. I doubled up when I left. I was polite, like usually. So to answer the other question, I wasn't very comfortable playing deep. And what I did do, I wasn't being an ass about it, so I waited for a round of blinds, and I didn't tighten up. So you know, if I got aces, even bad aces, I played, I raised them, and all that jazz. It's not like I waited for the ace, king, king, double suited once I doubled up. So I was in my mind that made it a little bit more okay. I'm very certain that that was not the perception of the other players on my tables. Peer pressure. Unless you guys wanted to donate large amounts of money for the bankroll, I can't do it. I can't do it. No, it needs to wait. Just because it's gotta be... It's so tough mentally. Like, you take a 2 buy-in shot, and as long as we don't have PLO 20 to work my way back up, I would need to win 10 buy-ins at PLO 10, so that's 1 or 2 days. Just to, you know, if I lose the shot, of course. What do we do here? I think we're just calling. Ooh, hang on, we need to change that song. That's even more squeaky than my voice. Although, strangely, regarding the voice, it's funny that I found I'm talking slightly different now. I found a different voice, so to say, through the streaming. Not as squeaky anymore. I think I'm gonna go for it here. Actually, no, I don't like it anymore. Because against the set I'm doing very bad. Now I have to call. Yeah, that's exactly what I was afraid of. Yeah. As soon as I clicked that button, I was like, ooh, no, no, don't do it, man, don't do it. Not with top and bottom and only backdoor flush. Could have, and should have avoided that one. Interesting. So you're that one guy who watches the archive streams. It does feel weird to watch yourself at first. It really does. But now, you know, when I watch a clip or something, and I see myself smiling, being happy in the stream, I can't help but smile myself at myself. Like, hey, look at this guy. He seems happy. It's weird. A lot of creative bluffs. That is interesting. Huh, I'll have to rewatch some of the older streams, I guess. I don't have an answer. There wasn't a conscious change in that regard. So it's not like I, made up my mind and decided let's not do this anymore. I did do that after for a couple of days ago when I took the day off and studied, and then the next day went overboard with the aggression a little bit. Also, maybe because it was maybe that helped with the win rate. Not doing that anymore. I'm all for saying it's luck. I've been playing full stack PLO for 6 weeks now. The entirety of my knowledge here comes from mostly from the free Nandus videos. Some of the stuff I checked out in the mastermind, but it was mostly regarding short stack. And so I'm still not completely comfortable thinking. I'm not thinking of myself as a good player. That puts it very, very accurately into words. Not, like in my internal monologue, I'm not trying to downplay my achievements, having a nice win rate right now. It's just I have a tough time making that jump from not knowing what to think about my game to saying I play a good game. I think I play an okay game. Again, in my internal monologue, I'm not fishing for compliments or anything. It's especially not because you guys are being so very nice all the time in the chat. I was one of those short stackers for sure, yeah. And I completely understand why people hate on that. And, if the roles were reversed, I would too. Yeah, I have. I started in, I believe, 2009. I walked by at a computer gaming party. I walked past a friend of mine who was playing on party poker, and I walked past the screen and was like, wait, what's that? What are you doing there? And he told me, playing online. He played for play money. And until then, poker was something that happened in cowboy movies and westerns, where you put one card away, you draw one. That was poker. That was the entirety of what I knew about poker. And in that moment when I walked past the screen, I saw, wait, so you're telling me I can sit at home and play what looks to be a computer game and win money doing that? Like real money? And that was the beginning of the end right there. Hang on, I'll try to play some poker for a moment. Betting here, I think betting here, I could check this one actually. Yeah, I'll check again. Here it gets interesting. Just checking sounds good. Checking here once more. Go back to the 4-table view for a moment. This is of course a very nice turn down here. Gonna call you once, even with the bad flush draw. We have some full house outs, make a flush. Get called on table 3, which is neat. I think I took it down on table 2. I have to check actually. Yeah. I mean, I'm not beating any flush. Beat 1. I think I very often lose this. But he's not having a flush, I would assume. Yeah, the king I was really hoping he had like an ace-king or ace-10 with just the 10 of clubs. A little bit too ambitious there. Could have saved that 20 big blinds. Alright, I did take a longer break between, you know, the Black Friday days and 1.5 years ago. Because I didn't really, you know, I was never really interested in playing no limit cash. And as the years went on, the barrier, the entry barrier seemed higher and higher for smaller and smaller edges, so I never really cared for that. And I tried PLO 6-7 years ago, couldn't find the way into the game, like mentally. And from from the coaching videos, from the coaching stuff I found on YouTube, I had the impression not many people could. Like one of the only one I do remember where I had the impression that he knew what he was talking about was actually a Phil Gelfand video where he was talking. It looked like in a classroom sort of setting. It was very strange. You watch those archive streams? My mentor told me to. I'm amazed that you're. I know that you're being backed or something, Frenchy, right? I read it in a different channel. Where you entered some sort of like arrangement, something there. And I am amazed to hear that you were told to watch my videos. Unless you're making a joke there, but I seem to remember that I read that. On the way to play short... Yeah. Yeah, the reason why I'm playing full stack is... Run It Once opened. I made an account that Wednesday, and I already knew that I couldn't play short, but I figured, you know, it's Phil Gelfand and he's trying to do something good for the poker industry as a whole. Let's check it out. And I started liking it, the site, the splash pods, and then I read more about the streamer program, and I always thought like maybe it's something that would interest me, like in the back of my mind every once in a while, like maybe that would be cool. So I read about the streamer program. I figured to run some numbers. I figured, you know, if I get 5 viewers and stay at 5 viewers, I can make this and that rakeback level, and it might be enough to make a living at, you know, playing PLO 50, maybe even higher later. But yeah, the rest is, well, definitely not history, but what has happened in the last 6 weeks. Turned on that webcam, and I have a tough time turning it off. Phil got sick of short stackers too. They're not good for the game. And if you short stack well, I mean, in the micro stakes, rake is your biggest opponent. But if you short stack well, you can take a lot of money off the table. I would have, yeah. I would have never made the switch, I think. I'm gonna call this here button versus blind. Try to get my head back into poker a little. Not that you're distracting me, I'm just was talking a lot. I have to fold here. Let's see, I know I made some mistakes, but it was probably not horrible. We lost a little bit. We're still up 3 buy-ins for the day, so it's... We were up 6 earlier, so not that great. Not horrible either. Doing the math right. 4, sorry, we're up 4. Still decent. Can't do anything here. Right, okay, so I'm not misremembering that. Thanks for saying that. I was... Like, after a while I wondered if that's really the video I saw, but it... Yeah, a seminar, that's the perfect name for it. So not getting any hands right now that I can really run with. That is certainly a decent one, the ace queen 8-4 on the button. I got some respect at that table apparently when I wake up with a hand. No, no joke, okay, I thought so, But thanks for confirming. With the 9 in my hand, I'm gonna go for it here. I don't think they've seen me bluff too much in this table. Played pretty snug the last 10 minutes. Get raised, and that's also a decent result in the sense that I don't need to showdown my hand. And we definitely flop stuff here. Blocking our own outs, I think I'll pot this. It's a 7 in my hand, yeah. Sure what to think there. It is weird, it's very strange. And it's very rewarding to hear that, and now I feel compelled to check them out. And I will. Divoleek back at the channel. Hey Divoleek, it's a pleasure. We are having a great day. I was up a little bit more. I kind of spaced out the last 10-15 minutes, talked more than I played. But it was also enjoyable and also a big part of the stream and why I do it. So no regrets. We're still up 4 buy-ins for the day. Won a 400 BB splash earlier. And right, Hartman, you should change your whole strategy if you're facing a good short stacker. Well, first of all, not a lot of short stackers are playing correctly, or even close to correctly. I'm not talking about, you know, playing exceptionally well. I'm just talking about playing a basic short stacking strategy, basically. Even that is too much to ask in a lot of cases, from what I observed on microgaming. And I played versus a lot of regs there, a lot of regulars, and I remember like 2 or 3 that really switched up their strategy and made the appropriate adjustments against short stackers. So it's not a common thing. You're right, tier 2. And I think I'll stay tier 2 for a while. If not always, and I would be, you know, I will be completely fine with that. I thought tier 2 was something that I would reach, you know, after maybe 2-3 months, maybe. Ooh. Can't really do much under her. Oh, Jesus Christ, no, it scared me without the music. King Spunk, fucking Spunk, thank you very much for the follow. Definitely making me smile. Okay, so we're playing short at 2 tables, which it will become apparent very quickly that I'm a rubbish shorthand player. Just repeating that for people that might be new to the stream and were wondering why, you know, I fold so much. Because the simple answer is because I don't know any better. And speaking about not knowing any better, this should have been a fold on the button. That is fine, I believe. It's not a huge deal, but still. See, we do get a hand here at table 2. King, queen, 10, 9, suited to the king. Certainly decent. Not folding if he comes over the top, of course. The min raise, what the deuce? Really? Now it all depends on his bet size. Any decent bet size and I have to fold, unfortunately. Yep, have to fold against this one for sure. Might be some very interesting turns coming off, but we're not getting the prize at all. That is okay. Nice one where we have a complete wrap this time. Also, we're gonna put the pedal to the metal up here with the ace 10 10 5 double suited. Interesting board for it. Go back to the 4 table. Gonna first of all down here I'm gonna call. I get there on table 3, by the way, making the nuts. Yeah, I'm gonna check, I think. Yeah, is a 3 better? I don't have a checking range. That was kind of stupid of me. Definitely calling, making a flush. See if we can get some money out of Terrence here. Yep, we can. We're not splitting. Take it down. He bets now after he checked the turn in position. I will call, I think. Yeah, if he has it, he has it. That is also okay. Does not have it. Play really tight. 3 bet less. Yeah, those you know would be the most important ones that come to my mind quickly. I lack the other perspective from the short stacker's point of view, but playing really tight or much tighter is a good idea once the short stacker's in there. And if you see a short stacker cold calling a lot, he's not good. Oh yeah, it might sound harsh, but then he's doing at least that part wrong. He might still be good, but it's a massive mistake if a short stacker's cold calling a lot. Yeah, tighten up. 3 bet a little bit less against him. Because there is a raise folding range. I'm talking, by the way, now specifically about 30 big blind short stackers. The 50 big blind short stackers have a little bit more of a raise folding range and stuff like that. So button versus blind, I think we can call this. I think this is not horrible. Interesting one. We flopped the double gutter, of course the top pair, backdoor flush. I'm gonna have to go with this one, I think. Yeah. Come on, put it in, Terrence. Nice. And that kind of was alright. I mean, I understand why he came over the top there. Gonna leave the table and not play heads up. So, damn it, we have to leave both tables. Ooh, I came over top here. I didn't mean to do that. I hadn't noticed he had raised there. Now, of course, we do flop the toppest of pairs here. Very little backup. Get raised, and I'm gonna give it up. However, on table 1, things are looking up with the king, king, queen, queen. Singer suited. And we make the top set on a very dry board. So okay, right now we're just gonna zoom in on table 1. Now I'm gonna take a break fairly soon. I changed my schedule once more a little bit. Usually I play another 40 minutes, something like that, until quarter past the next hour. And you know, if the games die down for now, I might as well take the break a little bit earlier. Let's see. That's also not a big deal. Would just mean that more streaming is coming up later and probably going on for longer. But for now, let's zoom in on table 1. Yeah, attacking dead money is certainly a thing as a short stacker, yeah. Because because you're not cold calling much. No. Fredgy, to your last question with does he enter with a weaker range post flop? That is a recipe for disaster. You have to be exceptionally tight. Again, talking about 30 big blind play myself here. Yeah, a whole lot of hands that you would think would be raises, and are in fact raises at 100 BB, are just straight up folds. As a short stack. Let's see if I can find some examples here. For example, let's say you're on the button, the cut of raises, you have 8-8 single suited, no matter the side cards, they're all folds. 9-9 single suited, the same except for ace king. 9-9 is a re-raise. Let's say the the rundowns in this scenario would only be the perfectly connected rundowns, double suited, like the 8-7-6-5, for example, 8-7-6-4, 6-5-4 are also already folds, all of them. So yeah, you do way less open raising, you do way more 3-betting. More squeezing too. Because, you know, if you play with 30 big blinds, you squeeze, somebody comes over the top, you're never folding and you're always going to realize your equity. Which also makes the game pretty swingy. I had horrible swings playing short stack. You know, half an hour, 10 buy-ins up down was... I wasn't say the norm, but it wasn't unusual by any means. It happened almost every day. Like pretty much almost every day for real. Did you had a 10 buy-in swing within an hour, or yeah. FD Ace King A3 here. No other tables are opening up just yet. It's unusually quiet at Run It Once. Let's see what day is it. It's Friday. A lot of people are coming from work, have to go, you know, do weekend shopping, stuff like that. Wonder what we do here against the loose aggro guy. I think we can call it. It's not a great spot to be in for sure. An interesting board, giving us all the flush draws, the gutter. He has every incentive to keep betting here, which he does. It's turned at 5. Well, shall we? Let's wait a moment and check behind. I don't think we're going to be folding here. And you know, if he has that overpair, which he often does when he 3-bets, he's not going to be calling here much. The straight's going to have a tough time if he has like the ace-5 in there. I didn't even have... He could have never called, that is fine. Ooh, them aces make an appearance. We get to put more money in. How neat is that? Quite a lot of money, actually. That's the splash there. And another table opens up where we start out flopping well. Short stack, really? Yeah, my question too. Really funny. And this is of course a hollow board. The question is, here I'm gonna check now. Very likely check call. Question is, do we put it in here or not? This is just a stupid spot. Yeah, expect to lose it quite a lot against 2-pair. Yeah, straight is good. Yeah, start. I think he wouldn't have folded had I went all in. I think the proper move is to go all in there. It's one of the spots where I'm probably a little bit too overcautious there when the 3-flush flops. Not sure I like how that hand went down from my perspective. Impressive, Frenchie. Very nice. Congratulations. That's this, you know, that's my story right there. From PLO 2 to PLO 100. Definitely gonna come over the top here. Ace Jack 10-7. Double suited, and we'll not be folding. Yep, not gonna be folding. Side cards are too well connected. That's a pity. That is a proper pity, but backdoor flush. If he has aces, he has aces. Let's hope he has kings. He has kings, and he's still good though. Having the ace as well. I don't think I could have done there too much there. I'll copy this one out, think about it later. This is a nice one though. Flopping the second nuts right now. There could be quads, you never know. Yeah, so I don't like how I played any of these hands right there on table 1, to be quite honest. The 3 diamond board and Actually, the second one, I mean, I have the ace. I think it's fine. We had actually a decent amount of outs there. In this specific hand, had he had aces though, we would have been pretty dead. For the buy-in strategy, you are a brave man, my friend. I could not take that mentally. I would be too worried. But you know me by now, I'm a nit, especially when it comes to bankroll management. With a pair, I think leading is fine. Check raising is also an option here. That makes it interesting, giving us top and bottom. Blocker and all that jazz. The 10 is of course not helpful at all. Either in its role as a 10 or in its role as a club. And we're playing heads up once more, which we won't. $150 buy-in downswing. Oh lord. Oh lord. Really? Wow. My condolences, man. I don't wish that upon anyone. Check behind here. $150 buy-in downswing? No. No. That's just horrible. As in horrible to have that happen to you. Really? I'm not blocking anything, only have the top pair here. Second kicker, even the ace-10 beats me, I think it's... Yeah, don't mind folding that. Ruleless poker, that name rings a bell. Decided to come over the top here. Top and bottom. On the rainbow board. Not looking for him to come over the top once more though. There's a 6 now. I kind of want to continue here. Yeah, and I'm gonna keep the story up to try to get out like an 8-5 that might have turned 2 pair now. Again, not looking to get re-raised, and this time we don't. Cool. Yeah, I didn't notice there was blind versus blind here. Should have raised the absolute king king accent there. Kind of an interesting spot here on table 1. Straight-wise, we flop pretty well. Not anymore. I'll leave this one alone. Yeah, I had some nasty runs variance-wise too. I mean, basically so far, my whole short second career specifically, every time I moved up, I got brutally beaten down. No, I mean, you know, that's just part of PLO. Huge variance can happen at any point in time. Well, I can't speak for the others. That's not scaring me. You know, you have to embrace it. It's what makes and keeps the game good. Because that also means that if you play bad, you can have good results, and you know that's obviously good for the ecosystem regarding weaker players and how often they return. Catch a little piece here with the queen 10-10-8, suited to the queen. Let's see, I mean the last 45 minutes haven't gone great, they haven't gone horrible though. $4.5 buy-ins, am I seeing that right? Oh, I thought we would be like down to 3 buy-ins in profit or something, having lost that 170 big blinds in total on table 1 earlier. Neato. Yeah. More double suited kings, this time with a queen and a 5 as a side card here. Checking seems to be a good start. And betting now if he checks back in position. Also sounds good to me. Raising this, the queen jack 8 here against the button limp. Never stops being entertaining. And this board is less entertaining. I have to let it go. No doubt about it. And again, I have to repeat myself. I love this Epidemic Sound music site for the streams. It sounds like proper music. Pretzel music was all kinds of crap. There's some decent stuff here and there, but short sticking has sick variants. Yeah, sick is the proper word right there. There's stories I could tell. I'll let this one go, I think. Doesn't matter if we would have flopped well. I think it's close. It can be a call. Four-handed for sure. Maybe it should be one, but triple suited, not suited to the ace. Even in position, meh. Yeah, Frenchie, me too. I think historically speaking, I don't know about my sit and go days, which weren't really relevant because that was in the very beginning. But I think I've gotten killed by the dealer and variance every time I moved up. I can't remember moving up a single stake where that didn't happen in the beginning. Oh, that's not true. It worked out in limit until I got 236. Right. Previous limits were fine, I believe. For me, short stacking had a higher variance, but you know, it's entirely possible and not even unlikely that my game should have been better. And that would have probably taken care of that, of the increased variance I was experiencing. Ooh! Embrace the variance with this one, the ace 4-4. Give it to me. And we have the dream. We have a bet on a 3-bet in front of us. This is awesome. Let's watch. Come on, Dawson. See how Dawson made his money. This ace jack deuce is what he's taken into battle. No good, sir. No good. Shazam. Smosh Shazam. As Sean Connery would say. No, that mirrors my experience, Hartman. Variance was crazy. As I said earlier, like a 10 buy-in at 30 big blinds, specifically, a 10 buy-in half hour was... happened so often, I got used to it pretty quickly. I disagree. The buy-in is whatever you buy in for. If you buy in for, 100 BB, that's your buy-in. If you buy in for 30 BB, that's one buy-in. Marginal hand, but it is a suited ace. We are on the button. No brainer. All of them are opens, I would think. Yeah, we flop well. We do have the 9 blocker. Let's check behind here, keeping the pot small. Turn a gutter. King might offer some bluffing opportunities actually. Would fit very well in a range that we check behind, like a king 8 maybe. Neato. The various. I started at 50 BB, then I joined a study group on Discord, and they were all playing 30 BB. And I kind of liked playing 50 BB because I kind of had gotten used to those ranges a little bit already. But all the strategies they were giving out were for 30 BB, and so I was like, yeah, screw it. I'll do the 30 BB. Oof, yeah, that's no fun. It's the moving up curse, man. I don't know. Seems to be a thing. The poker gods never make it easy on you when you get out of your accustomed limit. So another 15 minutes of stream, then I'll go on a break. Actually, I have to check my schedule to be able to tell for how long. Because I changed it today. Right, for 45 minutes. Actually, betting small here would probably have the same effect. He's going to continue with all his wraps and straight draws. And he's going to call, you know, a third or a half with those. I think a third pot bet there would have achieved exactly the same result. Yeah, of course. I mean, you can only, you know, double up unless, you know, you triple, quadruple up, which happens, but rarely. That's true. But it's great for moving up the stakes and bankroll management, you know. 100 buy-ins at 30 big blinds is much easier to achieve. Like in terms of money. Much easier to have a decent bankroll right from the get-go, or play a decent stake, I mean. Yeah, of course, yeah. When you have a decent hand, you want the full double up of naturally. I don't know, I got used to it. And I mean, sometimes there's still a short stack on the side on the stream, like late at night, early in the morning when there's not many run-at-once tables going on. And of course, on the network I play on, there are some proper maniacs, which, you know, when those people came online, I dropped whatever I was doing. If I was drunk, you know, I slapped myself in the face, pretty like, metaphorically speaking. Usually when I'm that drunk, I can't hit my own face. No. Study break is over, Frenchie. Right on. I'm gonna go on a short break in 10 minutes myself anyway. Decided to call here the 3-bet. This is a hand that is obviously not great, but against, you know, high card hands we can definitely draw out on pretty easily. Draw out on them, I mean. Folding this in this case, however. So let's see how the day has been going so far. $5.5 buy-ins in profit. Certainly a reason to be happy. Even though you know, now the last 15, 20 minutes of my play, I'm happy with my play. But there was a 45-minute period in there where I didn't really concentrate too much. But still, didn't get punished too much. No concentration needed necessary when you flop this well. With the queens in my hand, flopping the queen 4-4. I have no spades, which is pretty awesome. Dexter's in the tanky. Maybe Dexter wants to do something. Nope. No tables are firing off. We are sitting at 4 tables suddenly. Everything to schedule. You know, I don't fit in well with other Germans, to be honest. But in that regard, I can't really argue. That's what I've been told in my Twitch noob days, which are basically still lasting to this day. That consistency is key. Took it down there, unfortunately, with the full house. I am gonna call this with the jack blocker, expecting to be able to pull off some stuff in the end on various rivers there. This is not gonna be one of them. Check folding here. Here I'm gonna lead. Got checked around on table 3 there. Let's check out what he have. I can't yet. Take it down with the lead here, which is neat. Yeah, German Pünktlichkeit. German punctuality. I'm not gonna, well... Yeah, sure, fine. Unless Calvin here comes over the top, then of course there was a donation. I don't think that's gonna happen all too often. I'm gonna have to fold this with the whole table behind me there. Hey, Tobis! Right, so the stream has been going on for a little more than 2.5 hours. I will take a break, 45-minute break in about 8 minutes. And we flop a pretty nice wrap here. Having one spade is a little bit helpful as well. Not anymore. Yep, you shall take it, sir. So, I'm curious, what do you guys think about the new stuff on the bottom, like latest follower, latest stuff? Is that something that you find is good for the channel? Or, because I don't have an opinion about it, I just, until now I preferred to have a clean layout, but I've been told that it's a nice thing to have, and of course, you know, it's also a additional gesture, small gesture of appreciation for people that follow, that subscribe. So I'm curious. All the 9s, sure. Also be a fine check here. I think both is fine. Checking or betting half. Even just betting a third might be okay. Yeah, I don't really want to check this. Having no spade. Unless he has a 6, he's gonna have a fairly tough time calling in with the queen. I think. I hope. Whew. That one did work. What do you know? That is certainly a flop. We have the nut flush draw to boot. Okay. Why not that turn? Really? Are you kidding me? Okay, so it didn't call with queens. Might have the other 4. What a strange hand there. Oh well. Never stops being funny, the min raise here. Under the gun, no less. It's the board we're getting on table 2. More information is nice, you say. Cool. Thanks for the feedback. So once again, I'm showing my Twitch noob. I think I'm just gonna check here. Always nice to see your name on stream. Okay, yeah, that's what I've been told, that, that is appreciated. Cool. Appreciate it. So here I'm gonna fold. My mistake was not c-betting the flop. I sometimes space out there, like when I 3-bet, I don't have a checking range actually on the flop. If I can steal this one, possibly from like an ace-jack, something like that. Neato. Also neat is rivering the nuts. And they certainly are the nuts on this board. As he has quads, that's like the only thing you could check there twice. It's very decent music. It's perfect for the stream. Yeah, would have been an interesting board. I think the fold is fine though, under the gun. A little bit too disconnected, all this stuff. Make the 4 a 5, a 7, then that's fine. Alright, so much for German punctuality. Already running over time. Did I way to phrase that? Eh, doesn't matter. You probably understood what I meant. So here I'm not blocking the spades, of course. I'm blocking everything but the flush very well. I'm still gonna let it... For this bet size, I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna let Run It Once know that it's time for a short 45-minute break. In case you are new to the channel, should you wish to be informed by Twitch whenever I come online, then consider following the channel. If that's not your thing, that is cool. Just, if you want, check the schedule and check back to the channel. I stream every day for long hours, usually 8 hours or most of the time, most of the days even more, and chances are I'll be around. A little bit thin, 2 off the button. The 10s certainly are nice, the 6 and the 3, not so much. Alright, so before the stream goes on break, it needs to be said one more time. Nick Pip K and Hartman, thank you very much for the subscriptions. It's just neat. We're gonna pump a little bit more money in here. We'll certainly call a re-raise, should we need to. Not necessarily looking to play this hand like 4 ways, but we could. So we flop everything but the flush. Really worried about any turns here, I would think. Let's do it right away. Let's call it. Let's call it once. We do have everything but the flush, right? We do have the 9 of clubs here. Now we're gonna have to let it go. Yeah. Yeah, I think that was a fine fold, and in the end, calling it once, I mean, it was a large bet size, but... I'm not sure what to think. I'm not... You know, I have to pay attention to these spots a little more, like what is the frequency that they check back after a call turn? They do sometimes. I'm not sure they do it often enough to warrant calling this bet size like this. If you expect to them to continue, basically putting you all in on a turn. I'm torn. Not too torn about this hand. The King 10-8 is a nice one to finish the stream on, at least for table 3. 2 or 3 more hands to play on table 4. To use the big blind collar here, you could have a lot of stuff. That doesn't necessarily contain an ace, and now we can comfortably check back. With some 2 pair outs, of course the second nut flush draw. Which is rolling in by the river. And a big bet too. I've seen people raise this. I'm not gonna. Took that one down. One more hand to play on table 4, and then I'll be gone on break for 40 minutes. Check out the final tally. The same. 5.5 big blinds. Yep. Pretty much to the penny. And we're not going to be able to do anything about that number with the queen 6/6 deuce here. That is fine. Okay, short break. I'll see if I can find someone fun to host for the 40 minutes. And for now, I can't do anything, but thank you all for tuning in, for keeping me company, for being so lively in the chat. And say one last time that I'll be back soon. Thanks for tuning in, guys. See you in a little while.